Welcome to the Lock Shop with Nielsen and Hustler, powered by Coolbet Canada.
It's another Friday night, and you're inside the Lock Shop with Nielsen and Hustler. It's brought to you by our friends at Coolbet. Visit them at coolbet.com. Sign up for an account. Use the bonus code LOCKSHOP. You get a 100% deposit bonus on your initial deposit. What is up, Hus?
Well, Dusty, looking forward to keep it hot heading into the weekend. I'm going to give myself, again, I've done this a few times lately, but the Barry Horowitz, because with my Islanders pick, which was my puck pick last week, that was a winner on my 1,000th bet at Coolbet. And 998 and 999 was unbelievable. I hit actually, I'll promo this for Coolbet right now. Every week, you make a $20 parlay wager, minimum 3 games, minimum plus 500 on NHL hockey. And if you do that, you get a risk-free live bet to use as well. Well, I nailed the parlay with the Canes, who are so mad I didn't keep them as my my dog pound pick.
Yeah.
But I got the parlay, and I got the live bet with the Vegas Golden Knights the night before. So 998, 999, and 1,000 were all winners. I wish the first 997 of them were as good as the final 3 of the first 1,000. But man, I've loved playing on Coolbet ever since I started there, long before we started doing the Lock Shop. So it was a nice way to get to a milestone wager with the winner in the Lock Shop. And man, Tuesday's Lock Shop was awesome. If it wasn't for the Jays losing in the dog pound, that would have been, I think, basically a perfect show.
When you were leaning Carolina, and then you decided to go Jays because it was so close, right? Wasn't it like even money, essentially, by the time we did the podcast Tuesday morning?
Yeah, I mean, originally when we were like the day before doing the picks, that game opened surprisingly as a pick, a minus 109 on either side. So I'm like, well, I can't really pick an underdog. That's not an underdog. Well, by the time we did the show, they were minus 103, but I'd sort of already committed to the Blue Jays. So anyways, you win some, you lose some. It was a nice Tuesday, though, and hopefully we can keep it going on this Friday night heading into the weekend. Got some great games going on. We had Winnipeg and Toronto last night. Game didn't go well for the Jets. Connor Hellebuck got pulled. But I will tell you, if you like great sound, listen to Paul Maurice's presser after last night's game, and then listen to the after practice audio today from Connor Hellebuck and Paul Maurice. I mean, Hellebuck is always maybe the most interesting, quirky dude and most fun interviews around. He basically said right off the bat, well, I shouldn't have been pulled last night, and I didn't like it. And then Maurice just sort of laughed because that's what he always says. And then Maurice had some fun with the fines that the Leafs have been getting for a number of these incidents against the Jets lately, and said, well, the leagues had dealt with it through fines, and suggested that some of the Leafs, because of all of these fines, are going to be needing part-time jobs sometime soon to make up for the deep cuts. I think Joe Thornton's made over $100 million in his career. That $3,000's really going to hurt.
Stinging just a little bit there for Big Jumbo Joe. There's no doubt about that. We'll get to that Jets Leafs game coming up here with our dog pound a little bit later on. But first, are you going to give me a line on if you'll be feeling any post-vax symptoms tomorrow morning? What would you set the line at right now on that?
Now, here's the thing. There will be some symptoms, but steaming into the weekend, it's going to be, is it the vaccine? Is it mixing the vaccine with 14 Bud Lights? Is it? I mean, there's a lot of things in the mix. Although I will say, I got it this morning. I feel pretty good right now. I haven't really had any big effects. So as I said, what I've done to this body over the last 40 plus years has really prepared it for anything. So I don't think any vaccine is gonna dent me at all right now after the punishment that this unit, this temple has been put through on a nightly basis for a long time.
They give you one shot and your body just goes, I'll take another one. You know what? Line up 8 of them right here. Let's go. Let's get our shots.
Give me one of each. Give me one of each.
Let's go AstraZeneca, Pfizer, and Moderna. Why not mix them together?
Moderna in the leg, Pfizer on this side, and then we got the Johnson & Johnson. They now make into a shooter, Dusty, so we're going to have some of those later on tonight, too.
All right. Let's get into our puck picks. And I can't believe what you're doing here, buddy. To have the balls, to have the sack. I don't know if they injected you with adrenaline or what, but to go against Steve Yzerman when you know his record of ruining show after show and bet after bet, I can't believe we're seeing it tonight.
Well, that's why I didn't put it on the Partner Parlay, because
you go down on your own here.
But yeah, no, listen, I have to say, ever since I got that shot, I just hear Bill Gates whispering in my ear, take the Stars against Detroit. All sorts of picks. Help me with some KBO picks last night from the Korean Baseball League. We'll get to that in the Wide World of Wagering. No, listen, Dallas, Detroit put up, Vrana scored 4, and they beat them 7-3. I just think that's an embarrassing game for the Dallas Stars. I think they come back with a vengeance. I'll probably be looking at the puck line on this one. But, as I said, when we were putting the picks together, I didn't have the odds yet. And, in the puck pick, we're always wanting to pick a winner, something that we can maybe parlay with some other things, but at least start off on the right note. So I am going to go. It's been a long time. I'm not even sure if I picked against the Wings since maybe the first couple weeks of the season. So it's about time to get a win at Steve Yzerman's expense. I think this is it. I'm going to take Dallas. Pretty chalky number, -213. Take it on the puck line if you like. That's the pick to start it off.
And I'm going to go with the Colorado Avalanche -154 on the road against the St. Louis Blues. The Blues won the first meeting of the year against Colorado. Since then, it's been all Avalanche. 8-0, 3-2, 2-1, 4-3, and then 4-3 as well in their last head-to-head meeting here. For Colorado, they've won 9 of 10. I mean, they simply don't lose in regulation. They had that one blemish where they gave up 8 to Minnesota. And outside of that, they've been pretty much near perfect for a good 3-week stretch here. So getting the Avs at this number at -154, they're too good of a hockey team to not take them on the money line at -154, especially against a Blues team that's just been kind of treading water the entire season, has lost 3 in a row. They're not playing well anyway right now. So I like Colorado at -154.
Yeah, you know what? I'll be honest. I got a little burned last night. I had a Blues Sens parlay, and obviously Ottawa won. And I really thought this was a great spot for the Blues with the Avalanche having been off for a week. I'm like, if they're going to catch them at all, let it be a home game with the team that's, just getting back after being off the ice for a week. It doesn't matter when you're the Avs. They are that damn good. 31-9-4. I'm all ready. I was talking to Justin Bourne earlier today on Winnipeg Sports Talk. And you go around and you talk about the divisions, and obviously the East is tight. The Central has 3 really good teams. The North's been interesting. The West, I mean, everyone is just counting down the days till we get a second-round matchup between the Avalanche and the Golden Knights, which, for my money, probably, at least on paper, is the best series, maybe, of the entire Stanley Cup playoffs, and it's going to happen in round 2.
That is going to be a big one. There's the way we can talk playoffs here for a second. Chris Abbott, by the way, usually joins us on our Friday episodes. He's driving from Toronto to St. John's today. I don't know how long a drive that is, but he's got a long drive ahead of him today. So he'll catch back up with us next Friday. So we got a little bit of extra time. The North Division postseason, if it started today, you get Toronto, Montreal, Edmonton, Winnipeg. and if it doesn't work out that way, you're going to get Edmonton, Montreal, who hate each other right now, and Toronto, Winnipeg. Or Matthews and Marner versus Draisaitl. Like, you can't go wrong with the North Division playoff matchups, buddy.
No, it is going to be awesome. I mean, it's really a 3-horse race right now, and with the Flames flickering out, I think that Ottawa win over Vancouver sort of puts the brakes on their momentum, if you want to say, although they still do have a ton of games to make up. I think the Cinderella, it's kind of getting to midnight for the Vancouver Canucks, and I think we saw that last night. So, yeah, we're down to 4. It's stunning that we don't have more of a race for that final playoff spot right now with the amount of games that are left. I never envisioned that happening at the start of this year. I thought it would come right down to the final week. But for the teams that are in it, they're both looking to peak come playoff time, but also, get themselves the best spot. And considering where Montreal is right now with their game, with their injuries, I do think there's quite a carrot to finish first, in addition to raising that North Division banner, which will mean a lot, at least for fans this year, as opposed to a normal division banner. But, man, it's going to be great. We'll get another chance to see Jets Leafs on Saturday. And then we'll see if the Jets can get back into the win column against the Oilers, the team they haven't had a lot of recent success with. I think Edmonton's got them the last 4 times after Jets got
5-2. 5-2 on the year. So
yeah. So anyways, it's going to be an interesting week for the Winnipeg Jets, and we'll probably have a pretty good idea on how things look about a week from now. Right now, as a lot of the head-to-head play between the teams will be finished. Although, because of the COVID schedule changes, originally this was supposed to be 3 games head-to-head between the Jets and Leafs. It's only 2 games this week now. They've moved the other game to the 14th of May, the final game for these teams of the regular season. So we'll see if it does work out. We could potentially have a winner-take-all battle for the North title in the final game of the season, but a lot of things having to happen before that.
All right, so there's our puck picks. We have the Stars at -213, the Avalanche at -154 on your Saturday schedule in the National Hockey League here on the Lock Shop. Let's continue with that Jets-Leafs conversation by diving into the Dog Pound, where I am 13-10. Huss is 15-8. The Dog Pound has been by far the special little diamond of the Lock Shop. We've done a good job so far with our underdog plays, and Huss, we've been saying it all year. If I'm not on the Jets as underdogs, you're on the Jets as underdogs. Somebody's got to do it.
Yeah, exactly. And actually, Jets right now +110, and the Leafs -130. So a bit better of a number on it right now. And, I went back and forth. I'm a Winnipeg guy. I've sort of stayed away from picking the Jets most times this season, just because I don't want to own it when they lose, to be perfectly honest with you. But I really do think this is an opportunity, especially for Connor Hellebuck, to have a big bounce back. And to be honest, it wasn't like the Jets were that was a very close game last night. I mean, I think the chances were 22-23. It could have gone either way. Goaltending really was the difference. And of course, Connor Hellebuck got the yank early on in the game. If you know one thing about Helly, he has bounced every time this happens. He comes back for the most part with an incredible performance. I expect no difference tomorrow. And it is a really big game for the Winnipeg Jets. They don't want to have their first 3-game losing streak of the season. They certainly don't want to lose another head-to-head matchup against the Maple Leafs, with the North Division still very much up in the air. So at +110 right now, I cannot help but take the Winnipeg Jets. I feel good about it. And to be honest with you, Dusty, I thought I was going back and forth between the Jets and the Sens for the lock shop pick.
Yep.
I actually thought that I'd put in the Sens. I'm glad I put the Jets in. It forces me to make this pick. But I will tell you, I love the Sens as well at +118. And we might have a double dog parlay of the Jets and Sens for tomorrow night.
That vaccine went straight to your head. Straight to your head, Huss.
Going crazy in the lock shop.
All right, so there's two. There's 2 from Huss. I'm on the Panthers here against the Hurricanes. There's a lot. This is not, and they played 6 times so far this year. They haven't played in quite a while. They played each other a ton in the first half of the season, and Carolina has won 5 of the 6, including 5 in a row here. And this is not a Colorado dominating St. Louis type of scenario here. These are 2 very good teams where they're at in the standings right now has basically come down to what they've done head to head. And that's Carolina having the advantage so far against the Panthers. So I think the Panthers at home as a dog with something to prove to themselves that they can go out and beat Carolina here before possibly having to face them in the playoffs. And I know all year we've kind of been waiting for the wheels to fall off on the Florida Panthers. It's not happening. If it was going to happen, it would have already happened. So as a home dog with easy motivation by saying these guys got us 5 in a row and they're one of the teams that we got to send a message to heading into the playoffs, I like the Panthers here as a home dog at +110.
Yeah, you know what? I don't mind the spot to take this, and you make a great point. The Hurricanes really have dominated the Panthers head-to-head over the course of this season, and the Hurricanes are, in a position right now after that win against the Lightning earlier this week that, they're again, it's still very tight, but giving themselves a little bit of space. And that division, Dusty, we're talking about the North and finishing first. I'm not sure there's a more important division in the league to finish first in because of those 3 teams. Tampa, Carolina, and Florida. They're all very good. 2 of them are going head-to-head in the first round. The other one is going to get Nashville or whoever is the other entrant to probably bow out very quickly. And those teams will beat the hell out of each other in the first round. So, listen, I think Carolina's got a lot to play for right now, but I can't help but think there might be a bit of a letdown after that big series and the rivalry they're developing with the Tampa Bay Lightning. And the Panthers, they deserve to be in the conversation with those best teams over on the east side of things. So at plus 110, I think you're getting good value, and you're right. This is a big game for Florida to remind everyone that they're part of that mix too, and I think they could do that with 2 points.
Yeah, definitely would get themselves in that conversation. There's no doubt about it. So your dog pound for a Saturday in the National Hockey League, you're looking at the Jets plus 110 now as we record this, and the Panthers plus 110 as well. All right, so no Chris. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Just as we leave the dog pound, as we spoke, I did just put in the dog double play. Jets plus 110, Sens plus 118 comes out to plus 358. Thank me later.
Ooh, 350. All right. That's exactly what our partner parlay actually is at today. Plus 350, minus 1 or 2 points here or there. Okay, so let's start with Chris Abbott because he can't join us today, but he did send in his pick. He's on Winnipeg plus 1.5. If you like him to win as a dog here, you got to love him at plus 1.5. What do you think of that number, minus 210, plus 1.5 here for the Jets?
You know what? That makes a lot of sense. I think as we talked about, this open Jets were, even money, Leafs probably minus 118. Now it's gone a little bit more to the side of the Leafs. But Winnipeg, listen, I can't imagine a scenario. Leafs are very good and they can score. If Connor Hellebuck has another poor game, obviously that could be a loser, but I do think it's going to be a tight game. So to get the extra goal with Winnipeg and the ability to lose by 1, take it to OT, shootout, some good value, I think, on Winnipeg, even at minus 210, when you're looking to make sure you're locking in a winner and not being the guy that screws up the partner parlay.
Exactly. All right, Huss, you're going to go Vegas. Were we talking you were going to take them in regulation? I've got minus 1.5 here, but I thought we said you were going to go in regulation for the minus 167.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So that's not Vegas minus 1.5, but that is the Vegas Golden Knights on the 3-way bet where there is a number for the draw. So it gets up. The Vegas on the money line right now, I believe is minus 2. Yeah, they're minus 263. So, if you want to go the route of minus 1.5, you can do that. And I think it's about plus 105. We're just waiting for that officially. But on the home tie away, where a draw is a regulation tie, draws plus 390. I'll take the Vegas Golden Knights, minus 167, a bit of an easier pick and a better number. If it goes to OT, well, we lose, but I think that they're just too good right now and playing too well not to keep it rolling after clinching a playoff spot right now. So Vegas minus 167. Again, we've talked a lot about Vegas and Colorado already and just how good these teams are. They are steamrolling right now, and the Anaheim Ducks are playing for next year and lottery balls. So, hard not to like Vegas, and minus 167 just to win in regulation, not needing to cover the puck line is probably where I feel best about it. And at 167, looks good on our partner parlay.
And I'll wrap up the partner parlay by going to a total, bringing in the rare total in the partner parlay, and that'll be the Caps and the Islanders under 5.5. And this is coming off 2 games in a row in which they've combined for a total of 2 goals. 1-0, 1-0. And the last 1-0 was in a shootout. Since the Caps dropped 8 on Trotz and the Islanders, the last 2 games have been back-to-back 1-0 hockey games. Huh? So I don't even feel a threat here at 5.5. I wouldn't be surprised if it was one of the rare games we see nowadays at 5. But yeah, at under 5.5, I think the Islanders have kind of realized how they need to play Washington, and Washington is kind of capable of playing anybody however you want. So I'm on the Caps and Islanders under 5.5. Give me that total. That division is so nuts. Going into last night's game, you had 1 point separating Pittsburgh, the Islanders, and Washington, and Boston was 4 points back, but had 2 games in hand. That is a meat grinder. Shake those teams up however you want to put them out. The first round is going to be insane. And I'll tell you what, whoever makes it out of that division to play in the Final Four,
is going to really have to have earned it. You wonder what'll be left from the winner of that division by the time they get out of the first 2 rounds of the playoffs.
Not much at all. I thought that too. I was like, the Islanders and the Penguins. Oh, the Capitals have to play the Bruins right now in the first round if it was to start today. So that's a vicious division to come through. There's no doubt about that. So this parlay right now pays plus 350. Caps and Islanders under 5.5 goals. Vegas in regulation minus 167, and Winnipeg plus 1.5 against the Leafs at minus 210 right now. Which brings us to the most exciting 10 minutes in Canadian sports media. Nothing against your Winnipeg Sports Talk. Nothing against the Nielsen Show. The bottom line is the Wide World of Wagering is what the people want, Huss.
Oh, yes. What a journey we had around the world of wagering last week. We had a couple winners, hit the F1 winner, which was nice. Got another Aussie Rules winner, although we were really, really disappointed by Fun Plus Phoenix, who lost to Team Ready, Never Give Up, or whatever it was, is minus 263 favorites, which screwed the first ever Wide World of Wagering esports parlay after both the Chicken Fighters and the Unicorns of Love came up with big, big wins to start it off. I did have a nice window, and I didn't give this pick out on the lock shop because, as I said, I do a lot of the research, getting things ready on Thursday, but many of the things that I want to put in the Wide World of Wagering have already started by the time we are on the air with the lock shop. So I'm kind of looking at more Saturday games, which means I wasn't able to get my disc golf pick in last week, but I will tell you that the Saki bomb himself, Ricky Wysocki, ended up winning at 4-1 on the disc golf tour. And I did have a couple of disc golf sprinkles going into this week. We did take the favorite, 2-1 Chris Dickerson, but couldn't help a smaller sprinkle on Nico Locastro. Remember him, Dusty?
Nico, yes.
He came up to short. Nico is 6-1 in the Mid-America Open on the Disc Golf Pro Tour Silver Series event. So I'll be keeping an eye on that, Dickerson and Nico Locastro. But as far as the picks, let's do it. We've got some baseball. We've got some Aussie rules. We've got a lot to get to. So we started off. We always like to go down under for at least one pick for you late night folks. It's always nice to be following these Aussie rules games. We waited throughout this weekend to get a later shot. And these are two teams that we've actually both bet on and won with before on the spread. They're going head to head. It's the Adelaide Crows taking on the Hawthorn Hawks. And listen, Adelaide's had a great start. They've beat a couple of bottom feeders, but they also beat Geelong in that shocking upset in week 1 of the Aussie Rules football season. And Hawthorn, for that matter, I think more was expected of them, but they just haven't got the results so far. So, I mean, you look at the table right now, and it doesn't make a lot of sense that Hawthorn is a pretty significant favorite in this game. Maybe people are expecting the shine to fall off the Crows. Nice early start. I'm not there with you, but I won't be doing it on the money line. I'm going to take the points. Adelaide Crows getting 8.5 against Hawthorn. So we're going to take the points, and hopefully we're going to take a W with Adelaide in the Aussie Rules Football League. Moving on to the beautiful game. And guess what, Dusty? The MLS, after an embarrassing opening to the season in an all-Canadian matchup, TFC losing 4-2 to the newly named CF Montreal. We're going to look to TFC to get back in the win column and be much better than they were in the first game of the year. They're going up against Vancouver Whitecaps. TFC minus 164. That is a single pick, single wager, TFC to win against the Whitecaps in the MLS. Moving on, we're not done with the MLS because we've also got a 3-game parlay outside of what's happening at TFC. You know it. Let's start it off with the Colorado Rapids. They're going up against Austin FC, which, by the way, Austin FC, that's my logo in FIFA. They're a newer team from last year. And Matthew McConaughey is involved with the club. He is the chairman of morale for Austin FC. But unfortunately, I think they probably are hanging out more with Matthew McConaughey than being inspired by him because this isn't a good squad. So the Colorado Rapids at home against Austin, minus 128 is where we start our parlay. Now, Nashville SC, not FC, Nashville SC, Nashville Soccer Club. I like that. We call it soccer here. Why does everyone try and be
Welcome to
European
North America. Welcome to North America.
So I like that. I like that they call themselves the soccer club. And I also like the fact that despite tying their first matchup, they outshot their opponents 31-6. This is a team that probably deserved a bit better of a result. And to be honest, I think probably should be a bigger favorite than they are right now going up against CF Montreal, who had that big upset against Toronto in week 1. So I think the shine comes off Montreal. I like Nashville at minus 147. And then the final pick of our first ever Wide World of Wagering MLS parlay is the Portland Timbers. They're taking on the Houston Dynamo. The Dynamo stink, one of the worst teams in North American top-tier pro soccer. And the Portland Timbers are a favorite, if for no other reason than when they score goals, they've got that guy with the chainsaw sawing the log at the end of the stadium. So, I mean, the Timbers are a fun team to watch, a fun team to bet on, and at plus 106, it's the longest shot. So we're going to put these three together, and we get a plus 517 parlay with Nashville, Colorado, and the Portland Timbers for some Saturday MLS action. Now, we can't forget about baseball. I mentioned late last night I was looking at these picks and got in on my favorite KBO team, the LG Twins. They dropped a win last night. They've got a tough matchup coming up on Saturday. And by the way, these KBO picks, you're going to need to get in those on Friday night because the start time for these games is about 3 a.m. on Saturday. So I know you'll probably already be up watching these games. You may as well get a wager on them as well. And we've got two. We've got the Doosan Bears over the NC Dinos and the KT Wiz at minus 128 over the Lot Giants. And I mean, when you look at the KBO standings, things are really tight. KT, NC, Doosan, all 9 and 8, and the Lot Giants 8 and 9. So essentially, these are pitcher picks right now, and I'm not going to try to pronounce these pitchers' names, Dusty. Just trust me on them. Doosan and KT have the starting pitching advantage in this game, so we're going to put these two picks together, Doosan and the KT Wiz tonight. Those two teams together get you more than double your money at plus 208 for a early morning Saturday KBO double play in the lock shop. And of course, we then come to the final bet of the week in the Wide World of Wagering. And we're not going to disc golf or soccer or baseball or even futsal or bandy. We're going to the Oscars. And this might sound weird coming from a guy that I don't think has seen a full movie since the third time I watched Dude, Where's My Car? But I do have a pick. I've done some research on this. And yesterday we were lucky enough when I was doing the show in Calgary to have the great Adnan Virk on. Adnan, of course, MLB Network, NHL, and now the voice of Monday Night Raw. But he's also the host of one of the most popular film podcasts around called Cinephile, which, by the way, is moving to the new Dan Le Batard network in the next week, which was interesting to know. But needless to say, we had him on the show. All I wanted to know about was how he's enjoying the WWE and if he had any picks for us in the Oscars. So you go to the Oscars. By the way, those are all available at CoolBet under the entertainment site. So I went there and asked him about the picks. And I mean, when you look at the Oscars, and again, I haven't seen 1 minute of any of these movies. However, all you need to do, Nomadland is a huge favorite for Best Picture. Chloe Zhao, Best Director. You're talking minus 500 for the Best Picture, minus 5,000 for Best Director. It's assumed that Chadwick Boseman will run away with Best Actor in a leading role. So there's not very many spots where, there's not a massive favorite. The one spot is Best Actress in a leading role. You've got Carey Mulligan at plus 125. No idea what movie she's from. Viola Davis, 2-1. Francis McDormand at 375. And then a couple of the long shots, Andra Day at 6-1 and Vanessa Kirby at 12-1. Again, no idea what movies they were in. However, asking Adnan about the best actress in a leading role, he gave us an interesting tip. Frances McDormand, Carey Mulligan had won most of the other awards that lead up to us. But Viola Davis won the SAG Award, which is voted on by the actors and actresses. As far as the Academy goes, the largest voting block of the Academy is actors and actresses. So considering Viola Davis had the biggest support from that group winning the SAG Award, she provides some pretty good value at 2-1 to win this. Now, certainly not a lock at all. There is a pick that is higher favored in Carey Mulligan at plus 125. But considering Viola's momentum from that SAG Award and a lot of good feeling within the Academy, there's very good reason to think that Viola Davis might be able to snag that Oscar at plus 200. So with some advice from the great Adnan Virk, that is definitely going on the card for the Wide World of Wagering. The one and only Oscar pick that might ever be placed on this program is Viola Davis plus 200 for Best Actress in a Leading Role. So we've got AFL, we've got a bunch of MLS, we've got a double play in the KBO, and hopefully a winner in the Oscars for Sunday night with Viola Davis plus 200. And that, folks, is this week's Wide World of Wagering.
Couple of things. Well done. Second of all, you act like we're not going to be doing even more Oscar bets next year, which is hilarious. And then you're going to make me a KBO hero because I'm going to roll over on Saturday morning in bed with my wife and say, hey, honey, I won $300 on KBO last night. It should be a KBO what? Never mind. Don't worry about it. Just know that daddy's ordering skip the dishes for breakfast today, baby. It's going to be great.
I'm ordering a KT Wiz jersey. Well.
Oh, buddy, that's so good.
I got to tell you, just in all seriousness, the KBO is so fun. If you ever get a chance to watch these games, remember last year when the pandemic started, that was the one place they were playing baseball, and ESPN, and I can't remember which of the sports stations in Canada would broadcast those games. There was nothing else going on, so you'd sort of play it. I mean, the bat flips, the culture, it's very different, but it's good baseball. It's a lot of fun to watch. The characters in the game are great, and they don't mind having a little fun when things are going well. So I'm a big fan of the KBO in general, and it's been probably overdue that we had some KBO action on the Wide World of Wagering now that they're a couple weeks into the season overseas. They
sound just like us. Couple of great characters and aren't afraid to have a little fun, us. Okay, that's our league. All right, man. Well, have a good weekend. Good episode here tonight, and we'll catch up again next week, buddy.
You got it, folks. Don't forget, hit up coolbet.com. Use the promo code LOCKSHOP. You can get a 100% bonus up to $2 on your first deposit, and you can follow in my footsteps, putting over 1,000 wagers in on coolbet.com and still not being broke and being able to talk to you here, Dusty. Great week, great shows. Let's get some winners.